Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. Last night, I finally got done watching the season finale of The Last of Us Part 2. And my God, is this the greatest video game adaptation we have ever gotten? I think so. Now, am I bummed that it ends with episode 7 and we're not getting like a 10 episode season? Yeah, kind of. But at the same time, I'm glad they didn't want to pad it out and give us 3 additional episodes. If they felt that in the script writing process, 7 was the magic number that told a coherent story that didn't feel like it needed any filler, because there's nothing worse than getting those filler episodes that really don't do anything except add to the episode count, and I'm glad they did away with that if that was the case. Now, this season is essentially like the first act of the video game, where the whole time we go through the events of what happens after Abby kills Joel, and we follow Ellie as she goes on this quest of vengeance and wanting to kill Abby and all of the people that were there during the event of Joel dying. In the video game, it plays out like that in the first act, and then the second act of the game, you actually play as Abby, and you get to see everything that she went through leading up to the events of Ellie killing all of her friends and their confrontation at the end of this season. It really gets you on board with Abby as a character, and you absolutely need to do that, and I believe that this third season of the show, we're going to be following Abby the whole time, and a lot of people probably don't really like that, because I didn't like the fact that I had to play as Abby initially, but then after playing as her for a couple of hours and seeing her bond with her friends and seeing her bond with like all these dogs that they have and all these other people, you really start to understand that there's no enemies, there's no villains, and there's no heroes in this show. To Ellie, this person came and butchered in front of her the person that she loves. So this is a vile, evil person in Abby that we as the audience also want to see get murdered in very brutal ways, just like the people in John Wick that killed his dog. But then by letting you play as Abby, you slowly start to care about her, and you understand that to her, Joel is the monster. He came into this hospital where her father worked as a doctor and was gonna find a cure that could cure the world, and Joel butchered everyone in the hospital, massacring everybody to save this one person, and to her, Ellie and Joel are the villains and the monsters. And in letting us play as her, although we don't necessarily agree, it never gets to a point where you want Abby to exact revenge on Ellie. It gets to a point where you're very conflicted in like, Abby was just doing what anybody would do in her situation and getting revenge for the murder of all of her people and her father. And I think that this next season definitely needs to do that if they want to get us to a point where people that didn't play the video game are just as conflicted. Now, the show did take some minor changes that I didn't like the scene that takes place in the aquarium where Ellie kills the 2 people that are friends with Abby. They gave Tommy an entire episode where he was able to be a badass in defending the town from the invasion of clickers, which wasn't in the game. Like, that invasion on their town of Jackson was not in the game. It was completely new and made up, and it gave Tommy that badass moment that I was looking for in the show and didn't get. But outside of that, a lot of the stuff played pretty much exactly the same. Unfortunately, Jesse meets his fate in the same exact way that he does in the game. It's very fast and it's brutal, and in the game, you don't get as much time to bond with him as a character and really learn about him the way that you do in the show, which makes death all the more heartbreaking, because you have that moment right before he eats it where he pretty much acknowledges that Ellie's not a bad person, and if he was ever in trouble, she would light the world on fire to save him, and that's a loyalty thing that he appreciates. And it seems like they were finally getting to a point where they weren't gonna hate each other going forward, and then he just meets his end. And the whole reason why he meets his end in the first place is because he came out to save Ellie when she selfishly left Jackson to go and find Abby and try and kill her, even though she was told by everybody it's not a good idea. He still went out of his way to help her and died because of it, and now he won't get to see his child born with Dina, which is just so heartbreaking. But again, this show really is a testament to the circle of violence and how it's a wheel that keeps spinning, and it's going to continue to spin until somebody breaks it and decides to look the other way and turn down the want to get revenge. No matter what, there's always going to be people killing each other, and if you let the darkness in you take over, you're going to get revenge on this person. Then that person that you got revenge on is going to want revenge on you, and it's going to constantly be a loop of people just dying mindlessly over this same wheel rotating over and over and over, and all it takes is one person to go, you know what? No, I'm done. Now, this show is about getting to that point and who would be the first person to do it, but we still have a lot of carnage, blood, sweat, tears, anger, and vengeance to take place. Now, like I said, this season was essentially the first act of the game. Season 3 is probably going to be all through Abby's perspective, and then we're probably going to get a season 4 that is the payoff and the culmination of everything that was laid out before us in this show, where we're going to see Abby and Ellie come head to head. They're going to have the confrontation that everyone wants them to have. have, but it's going to take 2 more seasons to get there. And I'm so glad, because I don't want them to rush through this story. It's very layered and they need to take their time with it. And although it does suck getting left on this massive cliffhanger that we're on, I understand why they did it, because there's no real way to end this season in a satisfying way with where we're at in terms of the story. And they didn't have another 7 or 10 episodes to really give us that closure we wanted. So they're ending it on a cliffhanger. And some people are mad about that. I'm not, because it just makes me that much more excited about what's to come. I am such a fan of this show. I think it's doing such an excellent job at adapting this game. And I cannot wait to see all the events of everything that happened through Abby's perspective, because those are some of the best parts of the game. It's playing as Abby, not even so much Ellie. But yeah, anyway, I love this show. It's my most anticipated show on television right now, more so than anything else. I love these characters. I've been with them for the last 15 years of my life since the very first game, and Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann are doing such a fantastic job adapting it. Are there some logic problems? Yes. I was actually having a conversation with somebody that I know over like some of the stupid decisions that people make, like, I don't know, you're hiding out in a town where there's a bunch of militia surrounding you, but you decide to take the time to play the guitar and sing, which could, you know, kind of give you up and your location. But at the same time, it's such a beautiful moment from the game. I don't really think about it in that aspect. Sure, there are little nitpicks that you could pick apart like that where people wouldn't do the things that they're doing in these situations, but I'm not a nitpicky kind of guy. I don't pick apart things for these little tiny things. I look at the overall picture, and overall, I think that the show is masterful. The performances are fantastic. The motives are there. Anybody in Ellie's position would want to do the same thing. And this is just a show firing on all cylinders, and it's an adaptation that's done to perfection. So I overall really love this season. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I wish we got a little bit more time with Joel. I mean, if they're gonna adapt it, I wish they added that extra filler episode here or there and maybe didn't kill him off until like episode 4, so we had more time to hang out with him. But again, for the sake of not having filler, I understand why they did what they did. I just really wish we got more Joel. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you a fan of this show? Do you, like me, think it's the best adaptation that we've ever gotten? I'd love to talk about it in the comments down below. And as always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time.
You swore.